We are at the 2026 Republican Party of Texas Convention in Houston, Texas. I am joined right now by the one, the only liberty-loving Latino. It's Mr. Chris Salcedo, and we are talking about everything delegates are going to be considering today in the main hall. We're going to be voting on legislative priorities. We're going to be reviewing plank by plank our Republican Party of Texas platform. Chris, what are some of the things that you're seeing delegates consider issue-wise this convention, and maybe what are a couple of new ones that you've noticed come to attention?
Well, I'm not sure how much of a priority it is for them. I can tell you what my priorities would
That'd be great.
As a constituent, as a Texan, as a conservative, as an American, I would really like to see...
And a heck of an advocate.
Yeah, well, trying anyway. I'd like to see Rule 44 really strengthened.
Right.
And the rules of the road to be clearly laid out. You know, Reagan said that the Republican values have to be lived up to. It's not enough just to say, hey, I'm a Republican. Any John Cornyn can do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's how do you vote? What kind of policies do you promote? And what do you get done that affirms that? That's what I mean. And I think when you donate to Democrats, when you vote for Democrats, when you support Democrats and their priorities and their legislation, that's doing Republican wrong.
Right.
And I think there ought to be a consequence for that. And the consequence is simple. You can't call yourself a Republican if you're out there stumping for Democrat issues all the time.
Right. What do you champion and what do you oppose? That's what you can learn a lot about. The Rule 44 censure rule basically says, hey, there are some things that we consider to be worth disaffiliating over. Can you maybe give some examples of some stuff you think are, for you, Chris, if you're king of the Republican Party, right? What are some things that you think are non-starters? You mentioned a couple like donating to our opponents.
Right.
That should be a no-brainer. What are a couple of other things you think are censurable offenses we ought to take into consideration?
If you vote, for example, along with 49 Democrats to appoint a speaker,
right?
I think that's a line you should never cross. The Republican, if you are a Republican, you ought to be saying Republicans will choose our own leaders. Thank you kindly. And we shall not be asking the Democrats who they approve.
Right.
That's the burden, yes, and the responsibility of being in the majority. You choose your leaders.
Right.
And so I have a lot of people have said, get over it with Speaker Burrows, because some things, in my view, were able to get past him, but still a lot of things didn't get brought up. You don't put Democrats in veto position power, whether you call them chairs or vice chairs,
right?
And in your assembly, it's a Republican-dominated assembly, you just don't do that.
Right. The Legislative Priorities Committee, Chris, had one of the legislative priorities that we'll consider making one of the top 8 later is an omnibus package of things to help reform the Texas House. That's the name of the LP, and one of those is dealing with the practice of giving these Democrats power in the Texas House. It's obviously a huge problem. Lots of transparency stuff, too. What are some of the other issues that you are following closely right now and hear people talking about on your show or here in the exhibit hall that we think Texas needs to address over the course of the next 2 years?
About 10 years ago, I remember voting in the primary on the sense of the party ballot for no more taxpayer-funded lobbying. I said, it doesn't make any sense for me to give a whole bunch of money to lobbyists through taxes so they can go there and get more money out of me.
Right.
And I said, what are we doing here? And because I'm not worried about advantaging elected officials. I'm not worried about advantaging government. I'm worried about advantaging we, the people.
Right.
And that is a focus, I think, that is lost on so many of these issues that we often debate. You know, this is probably not the sexiest, but water projects.
Sure.
I was listening to my friend Paul Betancourt on a radio show yesterday. He was actually a host of a radio show, the same station I'm on. And he was talking about water projects and how they've been mismanaged. And they got billions and billions and billions of dollars. We need a lot of infrastructure work in this state and when we're talking about water, we got to talk about electricity. We got to talk about hardening the grid. We've got to start bringing on natural gas, reliable power generation online. And I don't think we ought to be building transmission lines, which is this new STEP program,
Right.
if we don't have power to put in those transmission lines.
That's one of the newer issues we've heard a lot about too. The LP committee has an entire legislative priority on this. So if you think that securing and hardening the grid, dealing with the water projects, dealing with our failing and broken infrastructure is something worth the immediate attention of our lawmakers, you'll be able to vote for that. Delegates will on the floor here in just a little bit. You mentioned ban on taxpayer-funded lobbying. This isn't the first time that we've gone down this road. In fact, it was an LP last convention going into last session.
And
that
I think
has been maybe
before it.
That's right. And so I think this might be the most talked about issue here at convention, actually. We got enormous amounts of testimony. Our future the Republican nominee and perhaps our future Attorney General Mays Middleton, who championed that bill for a long time, came and testified. He's been speaking about it all over convention. Chris, that's kind of the linchpin, right, for a lot of other issues that disproportionately affect taxpayers and families. And I think the one that I hear the most about, of course, being the group that we are, is property taxes.
Yeah.
That was number 9, so it just missed the list of the top 8 legislative priorities last convention. Do you predict that that one makes the top 8 this time? Is that something you think lawmakers are finally going to be able to address? Yeah.
No. If past is prologue, no, I don't see, and I'm not happy about this.
Yeah.
But property taxes remain high, unacceptably high. I believe in a dynamic. I've always believed in a sales tax approach because it gives us a say.
Sure.
Over, if you want to pay a whole bunch of sales tax, well, then go buy a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
If you don't, then don't. So basically, this idea.
The pros are you can budget for it. You can take into account and expect what to spend.
Exactly, but you have a modest amount of control as a consumer, as a taxpayer,
Right.
as to how much money you're giving to the government. These other dynamics, property taxes or income taxes, God forbid we ever have to go down that road. And according to the Lieutenant Governor, we never will,
Right.
praise God. But those things that basically put government in charge of extracting whatever money they need from us, and we have no say in it,
Right.
I can't sanction that because that is not a government of, by, and for the people. Oh, wait a minute, who said that? That would have been the first Republican
Right.
had those words, a government of, by, and for the people. That's what conservatives believe in, and praise God, Republicans will rediscover their roots one day.
I hope so. Chris, you've got a great show. I'd love for our listeners to hear about it, but you're also right now promoting a brand new book that you came out with. Tell us a little bit about your book, where we can find it, and then how to watch your show. You've got great coverage of Texas politics all the time and all week long. So give us a little bit of information about where folks can find you.
The book, The Rise of the Liberty-Loving Latino, A New American Revolution. It is not only about how in the 2024 election, millions of Latinos, nearly a majority of males, but nearly a majority of Latinos crossed over and voted. And this is a cautionary tale to Republicans out there. The liberty-loving Latinos did not cross over to vote Republican. They crossed over to vote for the America First coalition. They voted for Trump because he gave them an agenda to vote for. This idea that so many Republicans have bought into, that what Americans want is bipartisanship, which is just Washington code, frankly, Austin code for do it all the Democrats way.
That's right.
That's not what the America First coalition is about. So we detail in the book in 2024 about what were the myriad reasons why Latinos came over and what the Republicans ought to do to keep those Latinos voting. So that hence the new revolution, the American Revolution subtitle is because it's never happened before. Trump had an historic level of Hispanic support, and you're not going to keep that support if you keep on pivoting away from America First. And it turns out the book is not only where we've been, but how we keep on going down that road in 26.
And you predict we will. Well, you've got a plan that you can lay out. Do you predict we will? We'll continue to grow our support among the Latino community, especially in South Texas? If
you continue to adopt the America First coalition mindset.
Right.
The Republicans, like, I'm sorry to say it, John Cornyn, Republicans who say that I'm gonna campaign as a conservative but govern as a moderate squish and enable Democrats to harm my constituents. This is how I'm voting.
Right.
From here on out, probably, but at least this year, I will be voting for Republicans based on how well they've defended me and mine from socialists and Marxists.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we detail in the book. If you have not defended me and mine, rather sold me and mine out, I'm not voting for you and I'm not supporting you.
Yeah. There is a huge push right now for America Last losers
Yes.
to try to recapture elements of the Republican Party of Texas and the Republican Party at the national level. But I think patriots, so far from what I've seen at this convention, still stand with America first, with Make America Great Again. And there's been a resurrection to deal with some of these incredible affordability issues and
Yes.
fiscal responsibility issues. Tell us where we can find out more, where to buy your book and listen to your show, Chris.
Amazon, you can
Yeah.
get it in audiobook form or hard copy. Go to catch my show at chrissalcedo.com. We do a radio show that's simulcast on video, on Rumble, on Getter, on X every single day, Monday through Friday. And then there's a YouTube channel with just the interviews from other shows.
Got it.
So in case you don't want to dedicate, an entire 2 hours to the program, you can just watch the interviews. And we have a lot of great guests, such as yourself. Every once
That's
in a while.
right,
You've
that's
been on the
right.
show before, so yeah, people should check it out.
And you're on the air live in Houston and DFW area.
No, Houston only on
Houston only.
over the air, but everywhere on the country on Rumble.
That's right.
Because the internet makes everybody a national show.
Go to Rumble, go to chrissalcedo.com. Be sure to pick up a copy of Chris's new book, The Rise of the Liberty-Loving Latino. This is the one, the only liberty-loving Latino, Mr. Chris Salcedo. We are wrapping up the final day here at the 2026 RPT convention. I'm grateful for my friend Chris coming and sitting down with us, and we'll have more coverage for you here coming up real soon. Thanks so much.